We need audio. There we go.
Oh, we've been muted the whole time.
Now there's audio. That's better. Say something, Brian.
Yes, testing one, two, three.
All right. Wow. We're so good at this.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the stream. And now you can hear us. We were just saying how cool dev.2 is. And now dev.2, you could see us and hear us. So I'm good at OBS. What about you, Brian?
Honestly, it's been a while for me, so
Yeah.
I need to actually install it on this machine again because
Yeah.
sort of fell off the streaming game. Funny enough, I am streaming. I'm gonna restream this to Twitch as well, so I did like the dual streams.
There we go. There we go.
So thanks to my one Twitch watcher who probably still has alerts turned on from like 4 years ago.
Exciting. Yeah. Well, you had a couple reads, which I think will be really cool to get into, and then we have some demos at the end here. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first one was from the IEEE. Yeah, why don't you tell us what's going on here?
Yeah, so I actually just saw this morning. Someone was making so Rohan, actually I don't even know who Rohan is, but I know he's an engineer
Mm-hmm.
because he is an IEEE. But yeah, Rohan S. Pernick made this sort of correlation specifically for system engineering
Yeah.
and Jimi Hendrix. And he was talking about like early days. Oh, I literally just got a text from someone that my audio is leaking. I have no idea. It's probably that setup again.
Oh no, my AirPods just died, so I had to go back to this.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly,
Man.
I wouldn't even know what the how to even fix that. Audio is leaking. Man, this is what we need to do is like probably have like Chris like sit on the stream with us and he can sort of like do the mixing and matching.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll see what Chris is up to.
There you go.
But yeah, it's the challenge of like I definitely could not listen to the audio while also being live, so we're gonna have to roll with it.
Sure.
But at least the YouTube stream will be fine. So John's YouTube, check that out. We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
And actually, I think what I can do is actually just turn down my mic because I think it's the Riverside thing again. We had that same problem.
Classic Riverside.
Yeah, I'm at actually. I haven't restarted this machine since
Yeah.
that last recording we did. But yeah, sorry, I'm gonna have to roll with it. Jimi Hendrix. John, you play guitar, right?
I do. I actually I was just playing a little bit. Jimi Hendrix. Let's see if I can get this in here.
Is that a Mustang or a Jaguar?
It's a Strat.
It's a Strat.
Music Man Strat. Yeah. So
Oh,
there's
yeah. The body shape looks like a Jaguar, but yeah, Music Man, it's like the bass style. Yeah.
Yeah. But Jimi Hendrix, yeah, he was like, I don't know if I'd call him a hero anymore because I don't know, but when I was in high school, he was my hero.
Excellent. Yeah. So the article specifically for Jimi Hendrix about system engineering,
Yeah.
it really gets into like sound engineering, like building the sound for the Purple Haze. I guess one of his first recordings,
Yeah.
and how that was. Yeah, it looks like it might be feeding back in from John's side.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think it used to be if I switch to my AirPods, I'll lose the bleed. But when you start talking more, and I'll let you talk. I'll switch to AirPods and see if that fixes it.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at is basically system engineering. So we're going to talk about stereos and tapes, but I thought those is really like correlating to like what we're building with tapes and stereos, because like to get the sound you're kind of looking for, there's a lot of knobs and like dials and stuff that you have to sort of dial in, especially if like having pedals. So I actually play guitar as well. My guitars are in the garage, so I can't really pull up the Telecaster. But like I do have a Vox amp down there as well. But I guess what I'm getting at is like the idea of systems engineering, which we're very much in tune of with the stuff that we've been doing in the last couple of years.
Right.
There's a lot of correlation to specifically sound engineering for your guitar and for your amp and getting like a specific sound. So this like goes into details about getting like the sort of fuzz sound, the pretty classic Jimi Hendrix fuzz, which I think does come from the fuzz face pedal, which nowadays is pedals. So basically just like fine tune all that. So like a lot of us are using Vercels, the Netlifys, and the Fly.ios to like have bespoke servers that you can sort of like deploy to. But yeah, I just thought this was super fascinating. And the space that you're in, John, like I'd be curious if I don't know if you got a chance to read this article, but like to get your take on system engineering and how it correlates to specifically guitars and Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, I didn't read all of this, but I am deeply familiar actually. Gosh, one of my pedals is one of these like crazy modeling pedals that it's like, it's all basically on hardware, like a CPU or something, actual computer. And those computer programs are modeling, like from the article, these specific ways, that the ohms and the frequencies work with those pedals on those actual physical boards. Friend of the pod, Dan Magnum, who we had talked to sometime last year, was very into PCBs and boards. And like, I talked to him at one point about that, like how hard it is to build and recreate some of these, specific ways and resistors that you have with these. And really, yeah, Jimi Hendrix was kind of a visionary when it came to like how you could take a guitar signal, obviously put it through an amp with a tube amp, but then like massage it, mutate it, change it to be that specific thing that he had the vision for. Yeah, it's very interesting because it's like I love this first picture where it's like going through the input to the wah pedal to the fuzz face to the vibe to the volume pedal to the Marshall stack. Each one of those is sort of a system or in its own ways like a gateway to like that specific piece of the sound. It's not too different from like crafting a system. I used to think when I was first coming up into systems engineering, I was like, oh, you're gonna build these like huge things, these huge systems, and these like really, I think maybe I was kind of just starting right around the turn of like the microservice and stuff. So yeah, you would build a lot of these like monoliths originally, but it really is now today like you're just kind of picking and choosing specific pieces, that then one flow into another. So it's not too dissimilar. It's a good read though. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this stuff because like I spent a lot more time in the front end space and the like there's a lot of things that you have a lot of choice on. So like obviously React is a thing, which actually leads me into like our next read, which is Cloudflare had basically vibe coded a version of React. I forget what the time frame was. It was like maybe like less than a week. The vibe code not React, specifically Next.js. And that was cool. Like everyone kind of saw that. Like me personally, I'm like cool, but also I'm probably not going to use that because I know React like back and front, so I don't even use Next for a lot of stuff. I just use like straight up React and Vite.
Oh, sure.
But this is like a clone of Next.js that uses Vite, which got me interested. But again, I didn't have time to go play with it.
Right.
Turns out, good thing I didn't do it because the Vercel team, I guess, either hired security researchers or has security researchers. I don't remember the actual details.
They probably have. I'd be surprised if they didn't have a red team, like a dedicated red team, especially after that last really bad router vulnerability. What was that, like last year sometime? That was like a 9.8.
Yeah,
remote
RCS
code execution.
RC.
Yeah. After one of those, you kind of have to like bite the bullet and be like, yeah, we need a red team.
Yeah, fair enough. So I guess the red team checked in and found some like pretty high security vulnerabilities, critical ones actually, it says here, that they were able to disclose. And also, as like a 1-2 punch, let's see your tweet here.
I know I'm not logged in, and I was very proud of how early I was to that.
Oh, amazing. 20,000 views. And then Guillermo actually even responded. They also claimed the bug bounty too as well. So he appreciates that. Some supporting the security vulnerabilities and scanning. And there you go. So yeah, I'm curious, like obviously it's like Vercel and Cloudflare have their past and their history of I guess pop shots to each other. But yeah, I'm curious your thought on one, I guess the Vite Next thing, like cool, like vibe coding, new frameworks. But actually, I do want to get your thought on that, which is open source, like to be able to vibe code and recreate things like with some effort, but almost like no effort. What's your take there?
It's a good question. I mean, oh boy. I actually love this from Guillermo, not for just how petty it is and hilarious, but I think it does highlight the very like human nature of, or really the like organizational effort for huge open source projects that are required to go and like ship and sustain them. Um, it's interesting because the way Vercel kind of positioned it was like one engineer, what, $1,000 in tokens, 1 week of prompting, and boom, here it is. It's open source now. Huzzah, go use it. Like I think people were like, okay, we'll try this. Yeah, it runs. But like I would not be confident if my whole stack was, and clearly, after the red team poked at it for all of a day, we're able to uncover these pretty massive problems. I think the ball is now in Vercel's court, where like, sure, they prompted this thing into existence, but now you have to think about maintaining it, sustaining it, advocating for it, getting people to use it so that you can get that feedback to, continue to grow the ecosystem. Is it a soft fork? Does everything that lands in upstream next from Vercel then immediately go over into whatever this thing is called, Vinext?
Yeah.
Is it a hard fork where now they start to slowly diverge? Because then you get to a place where it's like, well, this thing really is just entirely different versus next. And then at that point, we've sort of looped back to just, well, you just went and built a new thing. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is something that so we work with Nikki T online, Dick
Yeah.
Taylor, and prior to him working with us at Open Source, he worked at Netlify supporting Next.js on Netlify. And I learned a lot about like sort of like the challenges of running Next on anything besides Vercel. Like this is like the cutting edge features, the caching, all the stuff that you can benefit from using Next. Like you're gonna have a best experience on Vercel. So I could see why Cloudflare would approach this, or maybe this is like more of like just seeing if they could do it. Like they had the tokens, they had the budget. Let's just like try a thing out. And maybe they're just trying like their cloud platform or their sandbox in particular. But someone who quote tweeted the original time I saw this was actually Dax had quote tweeted this about that VNext at Cloudflare had basically this like one-shotted OpenNext, and OpenNext was something that the goal there was like Next could run on any cloud platform, but also get the same benefits of like running on Vercel. So I believe like SST might have been the name of the service that was that stuff was like hosted on. Could be wrong, but
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, that's like my first interactions with Dax and team, and I don't think all the open code folks worked on that thing, but a lot of them basically they were sort of the early team of open code. Came from that first project, our first couple projects out of that, because OpenNext wasn't the only thing they were working on. So, yeah, it was just interesting to see this. Like I guess my take is like if you take a step back and you're like, okay, like we've got all these frameworks that we've got like some established players,
right?
But at a large enterprise or a company that has the resources or the tokens to burn, like there is value in like invented here syndrome, where like you see something that isn't open source, but you don't want the headache of like getting the sort of buy-in and adoption and platform team to approve it. So you could just spin up if it's MIT or Apache 2, spin up a clone or a version that could be forked or just like one shot generated or a few shot generated, to appease the security team and the researchers. But it seems like with VNext, not appeasing the security researchers at all.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the realm of like software and you prompt it and then it's like, oh, how do you manage that from a security perspective and stuff? And this was always hard even for like well-established teams. When I was at AWS working on Bottle Rocket, like we had to get big changes through AWS's security review, which, Bottle Rocket is basically a security product. Wink wink, doesn't look too dissimilar from how we're gonna run and manage Stereos, a new thing that we're working on. But that I think is where a lot of value is, honestly. Like Guillermo and Vercel getting to say like, hey, we found a bunch of these problems. You then can like, there's no mental gymnastics to say like they're applying that same level of discoverability, understanding what Next is and how it works on their platform. Yes, they've had bad CVEs and RCs, and I think they've responded well. It's kind of a fact of life, honestly, just having any vulnerability that becomes an exploit. um, software. That's soft for a reason. um, yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating. I think this was a good read. I really enjoy, yeah, talking through some of
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah, and I've definitely done this already with a couple projects. So I've been building this tool for a while called Contributor Info.
Yeah,
And the idea is like, honestly, the idea is open source. But I just wanted this type of data to kind of manage my experience and like my work at Continue that I was doing for the past year. So like to see this data and like manage this data, but also like the
right.
interactions and like some of the tools underneath.
Yeah,
I think at least for the data side, so the data side's an entire private repo.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, I'm
but
looking. I'm looking at tapes. Brian, you're catching up to me on contributor info.
oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. This is we should look at tapes here. And I should add stereos here as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, this is I love this representation. So we see Glenn's got some stuff that's open. He's got a work in progress stuff.
Right.
We've got Grubel. Yeah, the Dagger guy came in. But then you have like the representation of all the PRs that we've kind of merged in since. So I think we're over like 150 PRs, which is kind of wild to say like in less than 30 days. Like the velocity of shipping
Oh
is a
man,
bit unreal in the AI space.
I love the monthly leaderboard.
Oh yeah,
It kind of puts a fire under my butt. I want to get back in there and keep number one. Oh, you're number one. Oh, Brian, you did
yeah,
it. You beat me.
yeah. I'm number one, and then next week, I'll actually have a trophy. So
What?
it's funny because I built all these features, and I just never talk about this thing because I only talked about it internally at Continue.
I love it.
But you can add it to a Slack chat, and then
Okay.
that leaderboard will just get popped in there once a month. So maybe I'll add this to the engineering channel,
Yeah.
and then that way we can take a look at this every month.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah.
but a lot of this stuff I did go through like so the data underneath I did go through some like existing repos like data lakes and stuff like that and just go to Claude and be like, hey, read through like clone the repo, read through it, like tell me some like tips and tricks on how to manage really DLT pipelines
Right.
is what I was trying to sort of solve for, and to get that in the DuckDB, and then like DuckDB actually powers a lot of sort of data manipulation and like massaging to then have something to spin to an API that we're looking at right now.
Mm.
Really just like source through open source publicly available repos, and like help me decipher how to make a plan to like implement some of this like stuff and some of these new features as well. So
Totally.
but yeah, I'm a big fan of doing that, like especially if it's like permissive license. I'm totally cloning repos in open source and like learning how I can implement things, but with the caveat of like, because I'm doing so much AI coding, like I remember for Vite, I ended up finding a vulnerability, not a vulnerability, a bug in the rollup plugin,
Sure.
and I discovered how to fix it. But because I didn't want to handwrite my entire fix like myself, I just found a workaround and I worked around from that. But I ended up opening an issue and I just left it with that. And because I'm like, I don't want to be that guy that just like generates a PR and says please merge.
Sure.
So I was like, let's get the workaround, open the issue, and if one of the team or somebody who's like has more context and like contributing to Vite has time to do that, like, at least it's there and documented.
Right.
So that's the one thing I've actually been a little shy about is like contributing to other open source projects in my new realm of just straight up like vibe coding or basically using quad code to get a lot of the stuff done.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Remind me how does this work again? Were you running like a DuckDB?
Yeah, so the DuckDB thing is running on Fly.
That's
So
right.
like our timescale, or was it timescale DB was what we were using
It
before?
was,
It's like
yeah.
Tiger DB now.
Yeah.
I basically had recreated a version of that, but instead on DuckDB that
Sure.
runs on a Fly box.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of historical record that you have floating around in Google Docs, John, that made this a lot easier to work on. But yeah, basically, yeah. So DuckDB is where it gets piped directly from the GitHub API,
Okay.
and that just gets like massaged into something I can prepare for the API that's basically it's being piped into.
Okay.
But yeah, good times. I probably kick the Flybox like once every couple of weeks because it like goes down or breaks. But other than that, it's like it's pretty solid infrastructure.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, they do good work over at Fly. Firecracker.
Yeah. Oh, is that what they're on?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah. It's nice because it's light. You're not paying for a ton of compute. They can probably stick hundreds of these firecracker or whatever little boxes things that they have, the flies to keep their costs pretty low. Um, this is kind of an aside. I for a long time thought that Fly was going to be competing with like a Vercel, because that's a good use case where it's like, and I think that's even how Vercel functions work internally is they just use Firecracker. Um,
Yeah.
so I thought that they've sort of emerged as more or less a alternative to AWS Fargate or Lambdas or any of these other kind of serverless platforms. But I love their brand. I just love going to fly.io and seeing like the hand drawn little characters, and I don't know.
Yeah, the dashboard's also nice too. Is I don't know
Yeah,
what secrets are exposed if I don't want to log in right now,
yeah, don't
but
do it.
yeah.
um, cool. Well, should we get into my one thing, which was, I guess, my tweet that's going viral right now?
Oh yeah. I didn't realize you had a viral tweet.
It's
Congratulations. Oh, you
happening.
have a whole dissertation here.
It's thank you. Welcome to my defense, my dissertation defense. No, so yeah, my read today is more or less kind of rolling into the demo. We're open sourcing today Stereos, which pun intended, is a Linux-based operating system hardened and purpose-built for AI agents. There's a bunch of components in it with this. So let me make the video. Oh, don't do that because that'll ruin. Yes, that did ruin the stream layout. That's okay. Let me fix this real quick. Again, I'm so good at OBS. Yeah. So maybe better to just show the real demo from my terminal, because that's always fun and exciting, isn't it? Let me pull up my terminal. The whole idea with this is basically that you can run this box, which then is going to wow, I've like destroyed my layout. I'm sorry. Where did OBS go? Where did the call go? Are you still there, Brian?
I'm still here. Yeah, you
Okay,
did not
okay.
close this out.
Holy cow. This is what I get for using a tiling window manager on Mac OS. It's terrible. Oh my gosh.
And are you able to share your screen on the Hangout call too as well?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Why don't I just do that as well? I'll at least share the terminal. That'll be fine. People will get the idea. Wow, this is not this is not going well.
Looks good on my end.
Oh, it's just me. I'm just trying to figure out where my OBS went. Okay, at least that's still there, because now people cannot see our faces. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
That's close enough.
So the beauty of radio, all you need is audio.
It's true. It's true. Okay, whatever. That's fine. People get the idea. So the whole idea with this is that you have this thing, Master Blaster, which you can call by MB. And MB gives you a couple capabilities to go and MB up, to bring up a new stereo sandbox. So if we, let me see what I have on here. So I do have one running. So you can SSH into that thing. And, oh, it died. Let me MB destroy real quick, which should pretty quickly tear it down.
Nice animation.
I know, who built that? It's pretty great. Yeah. I do love a good TUI and everything. It's so nice.
Yeah, I'd love to actually make that like a stereo system or something like that in the future.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
like basic spinning circle, which I think I stole from OpenCode, actually, of all places.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Actually, it's directly from their OpenTUI library.
Nice. Yeah, that's okay. It's all open source. It's all I think they're MIT as well.
They are MIT. Yeah, they're pretty permissive, which they like have so many people like basically spitting out flavors of OpenCode. I think was it Minimax or Kimi? I don't want to like attribute the wrong one, but someone spin up like a new coding agent that's basically the OpenCode.
Yeah. Okay, so here I'm just relaunching the sandbox, which there it is. We can mbssh in, and then we're on the stereo sandbox. So at this layer, this is not too dissimilar from like how OrbStack runs a VM or Docker Desktop runs a VM, or really this is kind of like the entry point to getting inside of this specific system. But Stereos here then provides you with the admin user and the agent user to then be able to like kick off and actually run long standing AI agents. One thing that you say, Brian, is the long term care for your agents, right?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, I mean, my bet is that we will have agents that we've groomed and massaged into doing the right job at the right time.
Yep.
That's in a very secure environment, and that you maybe want to destroy them like you just did when we sort of started, but also maybe you just want to kick off an agent that already knows the flavor of what it needs to get done as fast as possible, and that's kind of what we're doing with the mixtapes.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so if we then so there's a few ways that you can actually kind of these flavors of agents. There's the native agent. So let me get out of here. Let me just nuke it all again. We could do the native agent, which is like right on the system, and then we can do the like fast sandbox underneath that, which is the GAdvisor stuff that I've been working on, which is very, very, very hot off the presses. GAdvisor is basically a way to run a small mini kernel, so that each agent in itself would get something not honestly too dissimilar from Firecracker or other sandboxing technologies. But we have this thing called the J card, which is basically how you can define like the unit of the agent. So this is pretty simple. I'm just saying, hey, open code. I'm going to give you the prompt hello world, and then it'll basically talk back to me. I forget how does this work real quick. I might be in the wrong branch. That's okay. We'll figure it out. So I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, this is type native, and we can MB up again. That'll bring the sandbox back up, so that we can have a native agent on it. Probably the biggest thing right now, after we've laid the cement for this thing, is cleaning up all this DX, which is a little rough, yeah, honestly. And you'll see that right now when I sudo you as the agent to tmux the socket that runs at run agent D.
Oh, this is beautiful.
It's gross, I know. Oh, it didn't. Okay, that's okay. It didn't pick up the native agent. It's running on the GAdvisor one, but that's okay. So if we look at that GAdvisor one with run sc, I always forget how run sc works. It's one of those fun. Yeah, we just want run sc list, which then is that it? Is it run sc list? Oh, but we need. This is going great. Whoops. See, they don't help with. Oh, it's because they put it in run sc flags. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. So we basically need to point GAdvisor back into where it's got a bunch of bundles and stuff. And I believe it's just the bundle flag. And buffer pooling, C groups, FS. We've entered the world of secure Linux containers, Brian. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here. All right, that's all right. I'm not going to be able to remember this command on the fly because I also haven't eaten yet. But this is running that agent inside of GAdvisor, inside of that sandbox. If we sudo ps aux, we'll be able to see it, which is this one right here, which is the run sc sandbox underneath the hood. That is actually the long-lived agent process that is kind of the sandbox within the sandbox. So we're getting 2 layers of abstraction where that thing can just come up super fast, even if the agent somehow was persistent enough to escape out of GAdvisor, escape out of the virtual kernel. It would land inside of this system, which then it would have, a whole nother enclave of having to deal with this layer.
Yeah, and can you can we double click on the why that's important, especially escaping because containers like they're containers, but you're sort of talking about containers failing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So a container, and you've heard me say this too many times, Brian, a container is not a security boundary, unfortunately. Containers are really good at sort of segmenting workloads on Linux. Like you have, oh, where's this thing? If we cd into root, and you can even look even at the, where does NixOS put all this stuff? In proc. So I can basically just see everything that's running inside of the proc directory, which each of these numbers, each of these number directories, surprise, everything is just a file in Linux. So as sudo, I can see every single proc that's running. If you wanted to basically create separate namespaces for each of these, you could separate those namespaces where, instead I've entered the namespace of, something that's only mounted on, I don't know, these specific procs or whatever, how you do that. That's basically the whole way that containers work, the whole quote unquote Linux containers technology, namespaces, C groups, mounting disks and stuff. But it's all still the same system. It's all still the same kernel. It's all still the same disk. It's all still the same technically proc tree where, if you were able to get out one level up, where then you could just see all the procs. At this level, I'm at the top of the tree. You could see all the mounted disks. You could escape out of a namespace. This is, again, I mentioned Bottle Rocket. Let me bring this over. This was sort of the whole ethos and idea of why at AWS we built Bottle Rocket, which is a purpose-built Linux system for running container workloads, but trying to be as secure as possible. And the whole idea with that is basically that, like, instead of enabling there to be any root proc tree, there's just, individual pseudo-less procs that then kind of segment those a little bit better. But we get the same sort of thing with the gAdvisor essentially. So yeah, it's a bit of a like crash course in Linux technologies and C groups and stuff. For anybody watching, I would definitely recommend the Linux Weekly News containers. There's a really good containers. Oh, I realize you're not probably seeing this, Brian, but I know they've published some really good stuff on like just how containers work and C groups, and yeah, it's basically all in here. Maybe it's easier to search. Linux Weekly News is not one of those things that's easy to find stuff, that's for sure. Search. Query. If I just search for like capsys admin, which is a capability, that's another whole thing that makes up containers. Yeah, you get all this stuff about a security model for systemd, which is like one approach where you let systemd manage capabilities and a bunch of those different things as like the system runner. You get, yeah, this is talking about list mounts and stat mounts and all this stuff. So all that to say, there's a deep, deep ocean of just why it's such a problem, ensuring that there's a secure enclave that's a container. It doesn't exist. You need some other system that basically wraps that. So yeah, that's my demo. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, and yeah, pretty cool for the demo. We'll probably follow up with some like more content, like either later today or tomorrow. I'll definitely have a blog post tomorrow around this stuff. But yeah, really excited. It's also, we should probably mention, it's like open source as well. So we did mention this, but we didn't show it.
Yes. I'll pull that up on my screen, at least for YouTube's. So it's at github.com/papercomputeco. And under here, you'll see Tapes, which we open sourced a couple weeks ago. We talked about that's the reverse proxy for AI agents. Surprise, surprise, we're going to integrate that into Stereos so that you can actually get telemetry, automatic telemetry on those AI agents running inside of there. Stereos is here. That's the whole Linux-based operating system part of it. A couple daemons that make up that, and then Master Blaster, which is the whole other side of it to be able to actually kick off and manage these things. So yeah, go. And then this random other thing that I built yesterday, Flake Skills, which is a Nix native way to manage your agent skills, which we will also need in stereos eventually.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of went down the demo. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to add to that other than folks should try it out.
Yeah.
Spin up a stereo system. Try it with your, well, right now it's just OpenCode is our only mixtape we have right now. But actually with mixtapes, these are things that we're going to manage right now. So like think if folks want to open an issue and like decide, like basically just let us know what you want to see in it. Just open an issue and then we can start a follow up there.
It's a very exciting one coming, which is, well, this pull request is a little ambiguous. Well, not that ambiguous, but it's the claw. The claw is coming.
Yes. Looking for the claw, which is like I could make a joke about who's the guy on the Clippers? He's called the Claw.
Oh, I know you're talking
Kawhi
about.
Leonard.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, because he steals a lot of basketball. But anyway, the Claw actually wasn't Dr. Claw. Dr. Claw was the Inspector Gadget bad guy.
Yes.
Anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole. But yeah, we have and I opened up the wrong PR too as well. The one with the lobster, which is crazy. I didn't know there was a lobster emoji.
That's like, yeah, Peter like co-opted that whole thing for, if you just go to github.com/openclaw. OpenClaw just has the lobster emoji in its like little description. Man, I think it's the most starred thing now. It's at 233,000 stars. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think the only thing that was above it was React.
Wow.
And React is like 280 to 240.
Wow.
Yeah.
On the tails. Yeah. What's the star chart on that?
It's got to be completely vertical.
Just totally up, yeah. Like, what's the man? Where do you even go from here? Like, that's basically everybody on GitHub.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really we did talk about OpenCall last week. Oh no, we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
The recorded podcast. Well, the 2 episodes from now, we'll have a chat with Sunil. But I guess where do we go from now? Like, I think the thing about the OpenClaw thing and like its adoption, you kind of can't put the genie back in the bottle. So, like when you think about, we have a lot of conversation about Kubernetes and Linux.
Yeah.
But I imagine OpenClaw is probably like the Home Assistant, like what Home Assistant does for like your home, not server, but anyway, your home lab. OpenClaw is probably going to be the future. I mean, OpenAI bought it, so probably the future for hardware. So when you think about the Siris and Alexas and all the other things that like we either still use or we don't use, I can't imagine that OpenClaw is not going to like find itself into like a Siri or all this other stuff, because like confident like MCP kind of opened up the gate of like, let's get AI and APIs to talk to each other,
connected everything.
But now we're like, okay, that was cool, but like we need some real like Rosie the robot stuff, like Jetsons style interactions. And then we also got these robots marching out of Fremont, California. So yeah, the world is it is quite peachy. Like, welcome Skynet.
Yeah. Well, speaking of MCP, I was talking to somebody recently on Twitter about, you know, how like, we should not be doing CLIs, and like there has been a bit of whiplash where it was like, oh, MCP, and then they did skills, which is kind of a way for you to define, you know, little scripts and CLIs for Claude or whatever to use, which is very nice and ergonomic if something doesn't fit with MCP. Like the GitHub CLI is a great example. I would much rather my agent use the GitHub CLI because it's so much more robust and it can do so much more, and it's composable, and it's, surprise, surprise, it's Linux. So I'd much rather use that than MCP. But this person was saying that like, no, we should go even further. The agent should write its own API code and then execute that, and everything should be API. I don't know what I think about that. What do you think about
that? I think we're kind of headed in that direction where like there's a lot of agents that could spin up a lot just based on the open API spec.
Right.
So I think we're in a world where like we don't need any more SDKs. I think we're done with like the amount of SDKs and things you have to learn, and like because you can spin up an SDK to do like XYZ pretty quickly. And I think what OpenClaw went is like we'd have the one that rule them all. And this is like your centrifuge of everything you want to do, and your sort of automation. It starts as the claw. or like a quad connection or whatever connector.
Right.
I'm sort of like adding branding that Peter did not add to it. But what I'm getting at is like, um, I think what we're doing, actually, this is something I've been thinking a lot because back with the AI fund, Nat Friedman and the Daniel Gross guy, they were investing in things like granola
Right.
and like consumer grade AI things. And that's exactly what they're doing with super intelligence, like with the Manus acquisition.
Mm.
Because we don't need more like dev tools and more like, I think dev tools and dev agents, like all that stuff's taking over and validating like the space. But we need actually more everyday man type stuff. And so, like what OpenClaw is doing right now, it is the everyday man introduction to I could do AI
Right.
in a way that like folks who were like low technical, no technical, like they could do a zap pretty easily, like connect your G Suite or your Google Sheets to like an email form or Google form and like do a thing and like
Yeah.
interact with it and get pretty dangerous pretty quick. But now with OpenClaw, it's like there's all these like skills that you can have within in there. You have these like playbooks on how you connect it and you can add different models where the entry point is like it's been lowered, but then the skill set that people get out of it is like so much higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the next 6 months will be like pretty unreal. Like I couldn't even tell you what's going to happen and what's going to look like.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that OpenAI will have they will have an IPO, they will have a hardware product because that's
Yeah.
all pretty public information.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to help dictate like what 2027 looks like.
Interesting. Which, if you read AI 2027, you would know we're all doomed.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Amazing.
Speaking of Apple, did you see this? Apple Fold. They're finally doing it. I can't believe it. I'm pulling it up on my side. Well, at least it's rumored. Their first foldable phone. Look at that. I showed this to my wife, and her first words was just gross. You cannot get that. But I want it. I think it looks great.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if I need a foldable, but also whatever keeps my screen from getting cracked pretty much as soon as I run out of Apple Care, like that's usually when I get the chip, not a crack in the screen.
Well, I think it's the fold, but it's also the one screen on the front of the book. So you get the phone, but then
interesting.
I find myself in this position all the time where I'm like, I don't want to like be that guy that's carrying around an iPad or something. But sometimes I feel like I need just a little bit more. I don't know. You always need a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's the trap. It's the trap of capitalism, huh?
I don't mind bringing the iPad. I got an older iPad that actually it's older, but it's M1 iPad, so it's not awful. Yeah. But yeah, I usually take that to the coffee shop for emails. I find myself the right headspace to do emails with a coffee that's not at my house, which I'll probably do in a couple hours, to be quite honest.
There you go. Speaking of, I need to also answer some emails. So maybe we wrap it up with some final thoughts. Here. Yeah, what do you, final thoughts? Anything else, Brian?
Yeah, final thoughts. Honestly, like folks, play with tapes, try the stereos. We got more to come. We need feedback. So I appreciate the 16 people who've already started the project.
Yep.
The 150 people who've started tapes. Yeah.
Crazy.
Looking for folks who want to adopt this technology and give us feedback. So
yeah,
I'll be like DMing a bunch of people next week doing demos. So looking forward to that.
Yep. Check it out. Let me know personally if you have problems, and I will help you. That's my promise. At least for the next few days until I get overwhelmed.
Excellent. Yeah. I joke because I don't have like I used to say stay Stassi after every stream, but I don't know what my tagline is anymore. I gotta like I put almost no thought into it, so I gotta say something to say play the tapes or
there's a paper pun here somewhere too, or there's a better music pun somewhere. Play the music.
Playing the music. Turn up the stereo system.
Turn that music up.
Yeah. Okay, we should stop.
All right, we're done.